Life teaches us that nothing comes for free. Hard work, determination, and resilience are the keys to success. This is the story of Leo, a young man who proved that with dedication, anything is possible. Leo, a 20-year-old from a small town surrounded by mountains, had big dreams. He wanted to own a chain of restaurants and become a successful entrepreneur. But life wasn't easy. His family struggled financially. His father, Mark, was a mechanic, and his mother, Claire, worked as a house cleaner. His younger sister, Sophie, only 10 years old, looked up to him as her hero. One cold evening, Leo sat outside his small house, staring at the stars. "I want to give my family a better life," he whispered. "But how do I start when we barely have enough to survive?" The next day, he shared his dreams with his father. Mark sighed and said, "Leo, dreams are not free. If you want something, you have to fight for it. Start with what you have, even if it's small. The first step." Leo thought deeply about his father's words. Then an idea struck him. He noticed that people in his town loved fresh bread, but had to travel far to get it. That's when he decided to sell fresh bread locally. But there was a problem. He had no money to buy bread. Determined, Leo walked miles to meet Mr. Anderson, a grumpy old bakery owner. "Mr. Anderson, I want to sell your bread in my town, but I don't have money to buy it up front. Can you trust me for 1 week?" Leo asked with confidence. Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow. "And why should I trust you?" he asked. Leo responded firmly, "Because I am determined and I will work hard to prove myself." After a long pause, Mr. Anderson said, "All right, I'll give you bread for 1 week. If you fail to pay me back, don't come here again." Leo was thrilled. Early the next morning, he carried the bread back to his town and set up a small stand near the park. At first, people were hesitant, but Leo offered free samples, and soon his first customer arrived. By the end of the day, he had sold all the bread and made a small profit. That evening, he returned to Mr. Anderson and paid him back. The old man nodded and said, "You kept your word. Come back tomorrow." The road to growth. From that day on, Leo worked tirelessly. He woke up at 4 a.m., walked to the bakery, carried bread to town, and sold it with passion. After 2 months, he saved enough money to buy a small cart, making transportation easier. One day, a customer suggested, "Leo, why don't you bake your own bread? You're good at selling, but if you bake, you'll make more profit." The idea excited him, but it also scared him. He had never baked before. Leo realized, nothing is free, not success, not knowledge, not growth. If I want to succeed, I must take risks and learn. He approached Mr. Anderson and asked, "Sir, can you teach me how to bake?" The old man frowned. "If I teach you, you won't buy from me anymore. That's bad for my business." Leo replied, "You're right, but I won't forget the man who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I'll make sure to help your bakery too." After thinking for a moment, Mr. Anderson agreed. Baking isn't easy. It takes time, patience, and hard work. If you're ready for that, I'll teach you. Facing challenges and learning. Leo began his baking lessons at 3 a.m. At first it was tough. His hands hurt from kneading dough, and his bread either came out too hard or too soft. One day, after ruining another batch, he felt defeated. "Maybe I'm not good enough for this," he thought. "Maybe I should give up." But then he remembered his father's words. Dreams are not free. Giving up was not an option. He returned to the bakery more determined than ever. Slowly, his bread improved. After 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him a loaf and said, "This is perfect, Leo. You're ready." Leo was overjoyed. He rented a small oven and started baking at home. His family was amazed by his dedication. Sophie helped him pack the bread, and his mother made tea for him while he worked late into the night. Soon, Leo wasn't just selling bread. He expanded to cookies and pastries. His town loved his products. The competition and the setback. Success wasn't easy. A new bakery, owned by a young man named Eric, opened in town. It had a fancy shop, colorful signs, and beautiful cakes. Leo noticed his sales dropping and felt scared. What if I lose everything? He thought. Instead of panicking, Leo decided to improve. He asked customers what they liked about Eric's bakery. Some said it looked clean and pretty. Others said his cakes were beautifully decorated. Leo realized he needed to grow, not just as a baker, but as a businessman. Using his savings, he painted his cart, added decorations, and learned cake decorating from library videos. Slowly, customers returned. An elderly woman told him, "I've seen many young men give up when times get hard, but you didn't. That's why we trust you." Months passed, and Leo saved enough to rent a small shop. It wasn't as big as Eric's, but it was warm and welcoming. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. The final test. One stormy night, as Leo was closing his shop, he noticed smoke. A fire had started near the oven. He quickly put it out, but much of his equipment was destroyed. The next morning, the townspeople gathered. "What will Leo do now?" they whispered. Leo felt heartbroken but not defeated. "This is just another challenge. I won't give up," he declared. Instead of waiting for help, Leo started baking at home again with the little equipment he had left. The townspeople admired his courage. Some donated ingredients. Others gave small amounts of money, and many helped him rebuild. Leo realized, when you work hard and never give up, people notice. They want to help someone who helps themselves. The grand comeback. After months of effort, Leo reopened his bakery better than ever. On opening day, the mayor praised him. "Leo, you are an inspiration. You've shown us all that with determination, anything is possible." Leo stood before the crowd and said, "Nothing in life is free. Not success, not respect, not love. Everything must be earned through hard work, patience, and persistence. Never let failure stop you. Every challenge is just a step towards something greater." Leo's bakery became a symbol of hope. People from other towns came to see the young man who never gave up. His story teaches us. Keycap 1 dreams require hard work and sacrifice. Keycap 2 failure is not the end. It's a chance to grow. Keycap 3 help yourself first, and people will support you. Keycap 4 never give up. The darkest moments come before success. Leo didn't just build a bakery. He built a life full of purpose. And so can you. Whatever your dream is, keep chasing it. Remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible.